Hi everyone, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. We have a special guest with us, and we also have someone that you all have been asking for all over. She hasn't been here in a while, but we have her today. Pamela is here today. Add Pam to the stream.
Yep, she is.
Hey!
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I hope you guys are doing great. And we also have a wonderful guest that's joining us as well. You guys remember her from she was here, shared her Invictus adventure with us. Peace Odetoro is here. And so we're all going to be hanging out. Just bring Peace into the stream. Hi, Peace.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Peace.
Hey.
Peace is having some kind of ruckus happening there.
Yeah.
I told you I'm worse for wear today.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. I'm playing around with these different views
Thank
here. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so we have been having a lot of fun. I just, I know Peace went to the Jubilee the other day. So we're like, oh, come and share your experience with us. But before we even start that, hello everyone in the chat. I think we have 138 of our favorite people here. Hopefully more.
It says 144.
Oh, 144. See, mine says 138. Oh, and now I got 144. So I think you are ahead of me there, Pam. I think your internet service is a lot better than mine. So
well, we hit 150. So awesome. Let's go. Let's hit. I just posted on Twitter that we're live. So if you guys can equally just post on Twitter that we have a special guest, Peace, who's gonna share everything that she experienced. Let people come join. Please do so, and thumbs up, like Church Nelly said, so people can come join us. Let's see if we can hit. I mean, am I pushing it? If I said, let's see if we can hit 1,000.
No, maybe we can have 1,000 of our favorite people come hang with us. Hey, I'm all about that. But let's say hi to who is in the chat right now. Let's see. Oh my goodness, yeah, we have a lot more coming in. So yeah. But I would say, well, just so we remind everyone who we are, just in case someone is here that has never been here before, we are Facts and Two Cents. We are a channel that's supposed to do Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, baby Archie, who is now baby boy Archie, baby Lili, who is now 1. She turned 1 yesterday. Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens. We are biased. We are petty. We embrace our bias and we embrace our pettiness.
And like I always say, don't come for us unless we send for you.
Exactly. I like that.
Exactly. Yes.
Send for you, then yes. If not, keep it to yourself.
But before we even get to the Jubilee stuff and what Peace's experience, I'm telling you, Squaddies, we gotta be so proud of ourselves. I mean, look at this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look at what we did, guys. We have went over $100,000 for this for the baby Lili Archie birthday fundraiser. 106. Well, I didn't check it this morning, but when I did this last night, it was 106,300.
I checked it this morning. I think this morning was 106, unless it's gone up. It was still 106 early this morning.
Okay, $381. I mean, guys, if remember, if you look on the side, the goal was 10,000.
We are the best.
Yeah,
the Sussex squads. We are the best. No one can touch us.
That's always the case. We're always on time. Like I posted, I was like, hashtag always on time. We were never late for these things. When we are called upon, we show out.
We show up, show out.
And I love the way that Mia was like competing with other donors on what you call it? What's the site that we contribute to?
Oh, World Central Kitchen?
Kitchen.
Yeah. No, but what's the app? What's the place that most people raise funds? That why can't I
GoFundMe.
remember? Yeah,
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
GoFundMe has a couple of groups that are donating, and for a while we were like, I think it's about 80 something groups, and now Mia was like, let's get to number 10. And we're number 10, and now we've just found like competing with other groups who are contributing so we can, who can contribute most. And it was so great to see
Yeah.
that we ended up being number 10. Like
That is
out of
awesome.
a lot of people being with the 10th. Can you think about it? This is awesome.
That
It
is,
is.
yeah, and I didn't know
Definitely.
about that until yesterday. I didn't realize that there she was competing against all these groups. I'm like, I had no idea that was happening
Yeah,
until
it
I
was
saw her
fun
post
though.
yesterday. I was like,
It was
oh
fun.
wait,
She's
I
like, come
didn't know
on, we
about
can make it. We can beat number 11 and be number 10.
that.
Which was so fun. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
let's go,
but I
Mia.
mean, it is so wonderful that all these different groups are raising funds for World Central Kitchen. As we know, World Central Kitchen is literally around the world feeding the world. Anyone who is hungry, pretty much any area that's hungry. Either Pam or Peace, maybe either mute your mic. I think there's a lot of noise. I'm not sure. Is it Pam?
It's me.
No.
It's me. I'll mute. I'll mute. It's me.
Okay, yeah, just mute it for a little bit until you finished rustling, because it's coming across pretty loud. But yeah, and so it's just fantastic to be able to raise funds and see all the people that it's helping around the world. So kudos to everybody here who in the chat and who have donated, whether it's financially, whether it's just you can literally just like it, the fundraiser, or share it with a friend, however way that because not everybody is in a position where they can give or give a lot or whatever. Even if you gave 50 cents or 10 cents, whatever you are able to do, thank you. All of it matters, all of it is important, and we couldn't do this without everyone coming together and chipping in whatever they can. So thank you guys so much,
And even
for
to
that.
those who did a squadathon with Tina,
Yeah.
and just took the time to share and talk. And I know we were on for the creative time slot, and so
Yeah.
people gave their time and just really just moved forward. There was a whole lot of us just vested in making this successful. So thank you to everyone, and kudos,
And
because
yeah,
it's not an easy thing to do, but we always show up on time, never
yeah,
late, and get the job done. Bravo.
yeah, exactly. And Lottie says, wow, that's awesome. I couldn't give much, but I gave my little $50 and I've got a receipt. I'm glad I was part of this. Look, that's a lot, Lottie. Thank you. That's very generous. Again, whatever it is, some people may not be able to donate as much as $50, even if it's a penny, all of it matters, all of it, even if it's where you're able to just share it, all of it helped. And so I think we can all be proud of the work that everyone, coming together. No one person could do this kind of thing, so it is just fantastic that, and I know in the chat a lot, even in the last podcast, I don't remember who it was that reminded me to talk about it and share, and Lydia posted the link in the, in the chat so people can, and also, I think someone was Lydia was asking if it's still open. I thought it was closed last night at 10. Did they keep it open, Pam?
I think it's still open.
Okay, it may still be open. So there you go. So in the show notes at the end of this show, or if in any other video,
thanks, Lydia,
you can also find the link for it at the end of this. If anyone has it right now, I want to post it in the chat. I'm not able to do it at this second, but at the end of this show, in the show notes, you will find the link to it. It's going to be the first thing where it says show notes, and you can just donate. So fantastic.
Hey, Ngozi, thank you for the comment. Thank you, Ngozi. Thank you. There are a few people who are saying hi to us. I just want to shout them out as well. Is that okay, Pedal?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just trying to find where Ngozi is. was like, where is
she
she?
was the bottom. I think my stuff is moving faster than yours, so
I
maybe
think
you
it is
catch it.
too. I think it
Yeah.
is.
Because right now we have 262 people watching. I don't know what you have.
I have 260. I haven't seen it.
Okay, good.
Yet.
So you're
Yeah.
catching up.
Yeah. I know.
So
I'm a
that's
little
awesome.
slow. Oh yeah, okay. Here we go.
You seem Josie. Yeah. Let's see. So fun to have you guys back. So glad I can jump in to crush this talk. So I heard Peace was going to be on. I was like, yes, I need to be on this. So I want to hear from her. And I think Peace, are you from Nigeria?
I am, yes.
Of course. I saw the last name. I was like, she better be Niger baby.
Yes.
That'd be Niger baby. Yeah. We're cousins since Ghana.
Okay. Yep.
So it's like we're like cousins that always argue. So nobody should.
Well, we make the best jollof rice though.
Oh, see, I didn't even finish. I didn't even finish the sentence. I didn't even finish. Now that's a flat out lie. That is a flat out lie. So you know that the world knows that. Where are my Ghanaians in the chat? Like y'all need to show up.
That's all we need is like Tina coming in. Okay, Nigeria against Ghana for the jollof
Tina,
rice.
I've already told Tina. She and I went back. I was like, Tina, don't even try. Like, no. No. I will give it to Nigerians. They're bold. They're like all over the world. They're, like I give them everything, every accolade I can give Nigerians. I will truly and honestly give them.
Jollof rice, no.
They cannot do
that. Pamela, yes, you know I am the closest thing you all have got to royalty. I was touched by Prince Harry. So you just have to accept that we make the best jollof rice.
There you go, fam. You gotta bow down.
No. I love it as my African sister, as my neighbor, as a possible DNA cousin, but no. Immediately no.
Petal, you've got a hard head here.
I know.
Immediately no.
But before we even get to you, Peace, let's go. Let's talk a little bit about. I mean, not that we know anything of what happened, but yesterday was baby Lily's birthday.
Yeah.
And of course, Squaddies, we celebrated with the fundraiser, and there was Squaddies posting, their little dress up. Did you do something, Peace, as well? I saw a video of you celebrating baby Lily. You were dressed up with your fly right outside.
I partied for baby Lily.
I saw that. It's a nice dress, though. I love the dress.
Thank you. No, we have the Luton Carnival. It always falls at the end of May, but because of this Jubilee, they pushed it, into the Jubilee weekend. So it kind of like crashed. So I went to the after party, but I raised the glass to Lily D.
Okay,
that's true. Awesome. I saw that. I was like, I was on Twitter, and for some reason your page came up. And your tweet came up, and I was like, "Oh, is that Peace that's going to be on the show?" And you were dancing.
She saw your dress. She saw your dress. So yeah.
It was great. All right, so we want to talk about. Do you want to start from how Peace to share about her experience?
Yeah, sure. But again, we don't know what happened with baby Lily. But happy birthday, baby Lily! Whatever it is you did yesterday, hope you had cake. Hope you were a complete mess. I hope you played up in your cake a lot.
I hope the queen was there. Hopefully, came to see you, and you just smeared her face with cake.
This was my little contribution to baby Lily yesterday. I was like, okay, let's be a little creative. And with the fundraiser, what are those little cupcake thingies? So whatever baby Lily did and whatever the Sussexes did, they have definitely kept it quiet. I'm assuming they're probably back in California by now. So I don't know. But
I don't think so. I don't think
so. I think they'll wait till I don't think so.
No. Okay, I know they're not doing anything today. I know they're not doing anything with the Jubilee.
No.
So,
They
but
probably leave tomorrow or Tuesday, I guess.
I was hoping Harry would be
I'm
back to
assuming
play
today's a
polo today.
Sunday. I'm assuming today they probably meet up with the Queen again or whatever, just family stuff. It just
Okay.
feels like I don't see them leaving when today is like kind of the climax of the
Okay,
Yeah.
I was
festivities.
hoping to see. I was hoping they left, yesterday, and Harry would be playing polo today. That's my
No,
priorities.
I
That's
don't think
totally
it
my
was
priorities.
RS Locke who said I don't think he's playing this weekend. I might be wrong,
But
but
yeah,
somebody
no,
who indicated.
they played this weekend. They had a sub this weekend, and they actually
Yeah.
won. So I was hoping that he would be back and play today. I could be, obviously. That's why I'm like, I just want them out of the UK. I want them back home. So I was like, maybe Harry
They'll
be
go.
playing polo today.
They know what they're doing. They'll leave when it's
Yeah,
appropriate. They have their
yeah.
plans, so it's gonna be great. But yeah,
So,
I'm happy for
anyways,
them that they went.
yes. So, anyway, Miss Peacela, so tell us what happened. I know you were there day one, and you couldn't get in because you couldn't get a ticket. You didn't get a ticket.
Well, I didn't want a ticket, to be honest. I just wanted to go down there and just see what the hype was. What the place was so packed that they started turning people away, and the only people that they were allowing in were those that had tickets.
Right. Yeah.
And the tickets for the seated area, obviously, they had sold out months ago. I think they had like £30 for the seated area and £10 for the people that will stand. So that's just going to be closer to where the Trooping of the Colours was.
Mm-hmm.
But the other area they also had, some of those people had tickets as well, but those tickets were free, but it was packed. So there was no way they were letting anybody else in, so they were just sending them away.
Right. It's weird because I just assumed, I had no idea that you had to pay for any of this. I just thought it was just like a free thing and anybody come to. So when you had mentioned that, that there are people that couldn't get in because they didn't have a ticket, I had literally I've never paid attention to the Jubilee before in my life. So I had no idea. So I just assumed people just show up and it's just, I didn't realize.
Peace, I have a question for you. Peace, were the tickets? I thought they had tickets. Not. This is what my understanding. I'm probably wrong. That they had tickets that were given out, but it wasn't for sale. Or that's false.
No, that's right. You have they gave out free tickets to people. So thousands of people were given free tickets to come to the mall and stand. But for the trooping of the colour, for you to be close to where they were. Their tickets there were £30,
right?
And then the standing,
and then who was giving it £30? Question. Someone is interested. I am.
Well, it's on the Buckingham website. It's being paid to them. So you have £30 for the seating area, and then there's a £10 ticket for standing. The ones on the mall. The ones on the mall, you can't see anything from there anyway. But those tickets were free. But even if when I was talking about when I got there, even if you had those tickets for the mall, they were still sending you away because there was no more room to let anyone in. But if you had the paid tickets, then they would have to accommodate you because you've paid for it. So they were going to have to let you in. But no one would have had those paid tickets because those tickets sold out months ago. Away. And I'm sure if you had them paid tickets, you would have been there from, very early. So everybody that was there when I got there, they were just being sent away. But the thing is, it wasn't planned very well because they know that people are coming from all over the world. They knew that there were going to be thousands and thousands of people coming. They could have opened up the other park. We've got Hyde Park close by. You've got Regent's Park. They could have opened up them parks, put the big screens so people could flock all the way down there. They're only going to see it on the TV, but at least you had that. I remember when Princess Diana died. We went to Hyde Park. They had the big screens for everybody to, come together and share their sorrow. I went, and I remember that, it's like it was just yesterday. But I went to that. So that's what they should have done because people were just walking up and down the streets aimlessly, didn't know what to do. Some people had come from out of London to come into London for this, and they were just turned away. So I just thought that was not very well organized. They should have known that people were going to come. Not because, I know most of them are there because of the Queen, but most of them, it was a day out for them. It was just, to take the children and have a day out. The weather was lovely. That's the reason why I went down there. It was a last minute thing. If I had known about Prince Harry and Meghan actually coming, it wasn't confirmed until like the day before. I would have bought the ticket. I would have bought the tickets for the £30 for the seating for the trooping of the colours, because I would have been there. I would have bought it, but because there was no confirmation, I wasn't going to waste my £30 to go and look at the Cambridges or anybody else.
So, Peace, were you at the church? Did you see them?
Yes, I saw them. Okay. I saw our faves. They were looking fabulous.
You did. The Padres tattoos that I had a tattoo in the Victor's game, so I'm so jealous. But go ahead.
I haven't even washed that area since. When I'm having a shower, I have to just go past that area.
Loving it. Love it.
Even at work, they call me the HRM now, because I was like, I'm touched by royalty.
Look at that.
And they can, and none of them can stand Prince Harry and Meghan. But the thing is, because they know I'm a very big fan, they love the fact that I got to meet him. That's how the British are. They're so fickle. But they just, for the fact that they know that I met him, they were happy for me, which is quite strange to explain to you guys. But they were genuinely happy that I managed to, because they know that I am a big fan. My teacup, it's a mug at work. It's Harry and Meghan. It's Harry and Meghan. You know the iconic photo of them
for the wedding.
No, the one with the umbrella, the rain. Okay. That iconic photograph is the one I have on my teacup. So they know that I am, I'm a Sussex squad, big time.
So Church Nelly wants you to know that she is so jealous. So Church Nelly, join the club. We're all jealous.
We're all jealous, Church Nelly. Trust me.
You tell them to come, Dusseldorf. They should all come to Germany next year, and I can assure them they will get the same experience.
Listen, it will be great. I think we all got
there you go. We are happily jealous of Peace.
Yeah, but I want to hear, and Pedro is okay. Just I know Pedro has a
go ahead.
lineup.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I was wondering if you could just walk us through your day, right? Like that day, got there, what the atmosphere was, and I want eventually to share, because you know how the haters want to talk about boo, and even I saw some of the daily, whatever, one of those reporters was asking one of the attendees, I heard booze. The guy was like, no, there was no booze. I was like, good for you. Speak the truth. So I want to hear from you, if you can just, hold it. Yeah.
So it started off with my fellow squaddie, Sarah, because she knows the area quite well, and I believe she lives in London. So we decided to meet up. She went early to get us the Great Scott, because I live in Luton, so I live out of London, so I had to drive in, then take a train. So she got there early, managed to get us a great spot. So we got there. The atmosphere, by the time I got there, it was already jam-packed. Everywhere was full. So it was like, even trying to get where Sarah was, because she was at the front. She got a really nice spot at the front, and you had all these people, so it was kind of like, excuse me, and they're all looking at me thinking, who the hell does she think she is? So I had to I had my Sussex squad t-shirt on, so I had to open it up a little bit. I was like, my sister is in the front, excuse me, and they're thinking, all these white people, they think this black woman is intimidating us, so they all moved in. So I said to Sarah, because I had her on the phone while I was trying to get to where she was, I said, put your hand up so I can see you, so I can push through these people. So I saw her, she had her hand up, then I managed to get to her. One of the people, I know after all the people on Twitter, was E. Holmes. Funny enough, Elizabeth Holmes, you guys obviously see the blogger.
Yeah, she's the one that used to attack Meghan, and then all of a sudden she had a come to Jesus moment and change.
Well,
something she says.
To be honest with you, I don't know who she is. I don't follow all these bloggers and all this stuff. The only people I follow are the ones that come on the mainstream TV, because I go after them through their main, like Ofcom and all that stuff, GMB News. They're the type of people I go after. So I don't know all these other people. So what happened was Sarah, who obviously knows her, because she probably knows about how the negative stuff she says about Meghan. So when she sent a message to our DM to say, that she's E. Holmes is standing behind her, I automatically assumed she was talking about Heyman Holmes. Heyman Holmes is the one that threatened to throw them off the balcony. So I said in the chat, hold on to him so when I get there, so I can give him a big slap. I didn't realize she was talking about this woman.
The woman.
So, so I didn't.
Wait,
but anyway,
hold on. Isn't Holmes the journalist that Christopher Bowsey was working with?
No, that's Ellie Hall.
Ellie Holmes. Oh, okay, got it.
Ellie Hall.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ellie Hall. I'm confused.
Yeah, different person. Yeah.
Got
right.
it.
Okay.
Like a blog or something. Yeah.
So anyway, when I got to where Sarah was, this E. Holmes was one of the people that I was going, excuse me, out the way, and had my T-shirt open, but I didn't know who she was, and then even till after I sent the picture on Twitter, I didn't know who she was. A lot of the squaddies were saying, "Is that not E. Holmes? What are you doing with E. Holmes?" And I was like, who is E. Holmes? Why are you asking me this question? I sent a picture of a group of people that cheered Meghan on. So I don't know who, none of them are. The only person I know is Sarah, who is a fellow squaddie. The rest of them, I don't know who they are. They cheered. They were
just cheering, yeah.
They cheered. If Elizabeth Holmes came there, her intention was to come and boo Meghan. After seeing me, she was quiet.
Okay.
Because from the minute I got there, that's all I said was, I'm here for Meghan, I'm here for Harry. And then there was two other journalists, I think they're from America as well, and they were standing next to E. Holmes, and they were, they're definitely, they were either bloggers or they were journalists, and I said so first of all, I whispered to her saying, I don't care about, because they were, every time some of the royals or people come in, they were going, oh, someone's coming, the flashing lights, and I just said to her, I'm not interested. Just let me know when Harry and Meghan comes, because it was where we were, you could hardly see. So I only wanted to get. They were standing on a basket. They had a basket where they were standing on, so they could have a little bit of height. And so I said to her, only tell me when Harry and Meghan comes. I'm not interested in anybody else. So she said, oh, I'm here. And then she whispered back to me, oh, I'm only here for Harry and Meghan too. So I thought, oh yeah, I'm in the right crowd. And then, so when Harry and Meghan came, oh my God! You see the footage that everybody's seen when they come and they're screaming. That is actually my voice that you're hearing. The scream at the end is me.
I love it.
It's only one of these days scream.
That's the scream at the end. So in the end, when they went into the church, you know, when one of the squaddies said it in Spaces yesterday or day before yesterday, he's saying when they came out of the car, you start to pray. You start to go into the fasting and praying. Oh my God, make sure her, she doesn't walk, her heel lets her down or something trips her up. So you're praying, and I had my, most of the time I had my eyes closed because I was just thinking, oh my God, let her get into the church. Nothing happens to her, because we couldn't see what happened from beyond they got on the steps and into the church. We didn't see anything else. The rest of the things in the church, I started to see them when I got back home, and I was watching them from people sending footage on Twitter. So I didn't see all the rest of the stuff, but you could just see how Harry was making sure every single step she took he was so protective. He was like, oh, mind the gap, mind this, and he was like, walk round there, and I was thinking, oh my God, why is it my husband like this?
But even though this is a good one. When he came out of the car, he had to help her adjust her color. He was like,
"Oh, I missed that."
In the video, when she was about to hold his hand, I think he said something to her, so she fixed her color before he held her hand.
Oh,
and I was like, "No, you're gonna look on point."
I just love this. I said to my husband, I had to call him. I said to him, look, do you see the way Harry and Meghan, the way he protects them where they're working? Anytime I've got my high heel shoes on, that's what you're supposed to do. And what did my husband say? He turned around and said, if you can't walk in that stuff, don't wear it. And I was like, oh, Harry.
See, Emil is agreeing with you. Emil says we all need a husband like Harry. Now, all the husbands now are going to be side-eyeing Harry like, what did you do?
What have you done?
Now my wife is expecting me to side-eye the ground every time she puts her foot on it.
I've already told him.
Your husband Nigerian?
He is. That's why.
Forget it.
Yeah, I've already told him he needs to take a leaf out of Prince Harry's book, because Prince Harry has already touched my shoulder, and so don't let him go any further.
I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, he's African, great. Like, well, don't wear it. Bring the slippers with you.
There's an African man on my timeline. I don't know. He's a troll. I don't know why the people on my post are still even engaging. Even it started yesterday, and this morning they were still at it. He was saying he is sick and tired of the way Harry holds on to Meghan and showing his love in public. He's sick and tired of it. And I'm just thinking to myself, why are these people engaging with this troll? I really wanted to block him, but sometimes when he comes on my page, and then because he wants me to engage with him, and I don't, so he just keeps coming and he just keeps on saying all these things. But then I went to sleep last night, and they were still engaging with this fool. But he just all he is upset.
You could just mute that person or block that person. That way you never have to see it. But,
you know I'm very messy, Petal.
Okay, you want to see it.
When I'm ready, I go for them. But because I've been so busy and so tired, I need to be, on fire, on top form when I go for the deranges. So
Church Nelly has an amazing, Church Nelly has been hot for Nacho for the last week. We've had to pour some ice on Church Nelly. So Church Nelly is singing she's won her Nacho man. So Church Nelly, Nacho's wife Delphine posted on Instagram yesterday, and I didn't know how to get it off Instagram. But she posted this wacky video of Nacho dancing, and there's a voiceover in the back, and she's like, there's a lot of fish in the sea, but this is my clownfish. Keep your hands off my clownfish.
She's warning me. That was I think she did that for Church Nelly.
There's so many people jonesing for her husband. So
she's warning us. She's warning us. She's not warning. She's not warning me. She's only probably warning them that I'm only after Harry. She ain't warning me.
She's talking to Church Nelly.
We have to make a clone of Nacho for Church Nelly. In the meantime, we gotta be pouring ice on Church Nelly to calm her down.
So then was her dress? Because there's all these rumors. It looked like it was off-white, but some people say it was lavender. Could you tell Meghan's dress?
No, I couldn't tell. From when I saw her, I believed it was off-white. But even today, one of the ladies that on the BBC that was doing all the fashion stuff, she's still suspecting it was lilac. But even even your brother Pamela Wotang couldn't even guess whether it was lilac or not. So we're never gonna know.
Yeah,
until Meghan. Yeah, she said it's either greige. She said it's either greige, off-white, or lilac. So until Meghan's spokesperson tells us what it is, we are not gonna know.
And Dior. Oh, and I should have brought it in, and I didn't even think about it until Dior posted about it,
but didn't say the color. Yeah,
didn't say the color.
Dior said, and also, which I didn't realize until they said it, and I looked and I realized that there's something under it. She was wearing a blouse, made by Maria Garza, I think is the Dior top fashion designer, and a wool skirt under there. I had no idea. I just thought it was a dress or a.
And then
it's a coat. It's a coat.
Yeah, so I guess she just felt like, maybe, I don't know, was it a cool day or sort of like a cool day in England? So she probably just felt more comfortable just keeping everything on and not taking it off and showing off the blouse and skirt.
The girl knew she was fly, so she was not taking that off. Whether she was slouching in underneath that coat, she was just gonna wear it. And wear it well, and she slayed because she's the slay queen.
Yeah.
And she owned that stage, walking down the aisle.
Oh
she was going, Angela Levin, kiss my ass. Camilla Tomley, kiss my ass. She was just going, calling their names one by one, kiss my ass. Yes, you. Kiss my ass. Kate, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
She was going, tum.
It's just the structure, her uprightness, just the whole form. Meghan steps in with confidence. Listen, I'm sure. Listen, she's been in the public eye forever, right? She knows how to deal with all that. But there's always something when you know that you have your man beside you and he's holding your hands, and the haters are looking whether they like you or not. You're like, oh, you're gonna see all of this from head to toe. You're gonna feel it and see it, and yes, he loves me and he's holding my hands, and I'm gonna show you he's my man and you can't have him. Kind of walk.
Exactly. Yes, right, she was like, I just loved the walk. I just thought, girl, just give it to them. They might be my peoples, but they just need to know that you are too hot to touch.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say, not to censor anyone, but we just want to keep it clean. Important. We've talked about this on the podcast, so everybody knows where I stand on it. So.
I apologize.
Okay, I'm just saying.
What was it like meeting Scobie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a dream. He's so lovely. He's a dream. Josh's daddy is so lovely, and he gives you the biggest hugs, and it's so genuine. It's not like, you're meeting someone, a celebrity, and just like, you just little British touch. No, he gives you the biggest hugs. He's so lovely, and he's genuine. And I was asking him about what does he think Harry and Meghan were going to do any public on any of their own private things while they're in the UK, and he said to me, no, that they're strict down to the part that they're not going to do anything that's going to get the press to even though we know the press will do it regardless, but it's not gonna come from them. He said they're just going to do their thing. They're done now, and they'll be out of the country latest by Tuesday. So he was, and then even while I was talking to him, some journalist from somewhere started to interview him, and then he was like, "Where do you come from? Where's this going?" You could just tell that he's so suspicious of everybody.
Right. Well, rightfully so. I mean, you never know who they are, and they could misquote him, whatever. They can manipulate videos. So, and he was actually reporting for ABC. So, I think that's probably that, and Bizarre are probably. Well, not probably, they are his main thing. So I don't blame him for being careful about who he speaks to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even in the UK, how many times have they misquoted him and twisted what he said? So I don't blame him for doing that. But I'm glad you were able to meet him. I know you guys sort of missed each other at the Invictus.
Yeah. It was so nice meeting him. He's a really lovely guy and genuine, and so young looking. I know that one of the squaddies wants to know what his face routine is all about, this cream and all the stuff he uses. She goes, "Can you ask him for me?" And I was going, "No, leave the daddy, Josh's daddy away."
Right? I heard he's in his 40s.
He looks like he's just 20. He looks so young. He might be in his 40s, but he just looks so young.
Because when he was promoting, Finding Freedom, he was like 39. So I think
really?
He's like,
wow.
So he's in his 40s. Yeah. He looks really good.
he doesn't look it at all. He looks like someone fresh out of high school.
Right. Well, I think too he's Persian. He's Persian, and I think is a thing with Persian people is that same kind of thing with Black people. We don't look our age. So yeah, it's just like we don't look our age. So I've noticed that with them as well. You can never look at like someone from say the Middle East and can maybe some, but the majority you really can't tell their age.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing with it's not Black and brown people.
He looks good. He looks really good. Looks really good.
Yeah, and let's see who else is. But I was gonna ask something
about the booing.
I just completely lost my train of thought. I literally completely lost my train of thought. I was looking at something, but continue until I'll remember what I was gonna ask you.
Was it about the booing?
Yeah.
So
I think who was booed was Boris Johnson. That was booed.
I started that boo, but can you just make sure you don't tell anybody, because I'm still waiting for the £400. £400 that they've put the bribe money.
52 people are hearing you, please.
So just tell them not to tell until I get paid. They're bribing the whole of the UK with £400. So until I get paid, I don't let him know that I am the one that started the booing.
Oh, please.
He was shocked.
You understood the assignments and you delivered.
Yeah, I delivered. He was totally shocked because he didn't expect it at all. Because he came out of the car and it was all fine until he got to the first step. Bearing in mind, I didn't even know that he had got out of the car because my informant that was giving me all the information gave it to me late. And she goes, "Oh, that's Boris Johnson." I goes, "Oh, woo!" And he's like, "Oh, everybody else started."
Well, even BBC when they were was it BBC? Yeah, I think that was the feed that I was watching when he and his wife came out of the car, and so they were talking about, and then the booing started. Peace led that. They were really surprised. They were really shocked that
he was shocked. He himself was shocked because he kind of looked back for a split second because he didn't expect it, and because it was quiet as he got out, and then it's only because they told me late that it was him, and I started booing. I was like, yeah. You damn liar.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good boo. I mean, he wasn't expecting it. You're right. He looked a bit confused. I was like, wait,
he was confused. Yeah, he was shocked.
That tells you he's lost the pulse of the country, right? He doesn't understand how people are. He's in his own bubble. He doesn't realize the temperature of how British people are feeling. Don't even go that way. You know what happens when people start to think Twitter is real life? Boris Johnson has still got the support of the UK and all the rest because of Brexit. So they're all willing to say, "Oh yeah, okay, he did wrong, but let's move on. Oh yeah, he did wrong, but let's move on." If that was any other person, he would have been gone from the first time he messed up, and he has messed up well before the Partygate starts. The Partygate started. Yeah. So don't let Twitter deceive you about he hasn't got support. He's got support, and the only problem is that they haven't got anyone to take over. When you look at the whole lineup of his cabinet, the people in there, there's no one really that has the charisma. Not that he has charisma, as far as I'm concerned, but that's like charisma.
Yeah. Well, that's what they claim, that he's got that charisma, and that's why he got an 87 majority or 84 majority seat. He got an 84 majority seat because everybody wanted to leave the European Union, not because they thought Boris Johnson was some great human being. He's a nasty piece of work.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you guys have to figure that out and get him.
Diane said that there was a bus blocking the way, so they booed the bus.
Me again.
So the bus was also
that was where we were. That bus was in front of us, so it parked It dropped off all the royals, like the Tindalls and all of them, and then it came over and parked right in front of us. And then I started booing and shouting at the policeman in front of us, saying, "What is he doing there? They can't block. We can just about see." And now he's blocked his bus. And then all the other attendants came round and said that he needs to move the bus further down, which he ended up moving further down and then turning round to go to the. But I thought we were struggling to see, and then all of a sudden he parked his big old coach right in front of us. But that one, he also got another boo, unfortunately. So what I was really thinking is that there's the boos that people are hearing was, I think some of these royal rotors and stuff, they've kind of picked them up and made out like it was all boos at Meghan, because there was a certain footage of a woman who was booing, and that's what she's given to one of these royal rotors, and that's what it's been going round on Twitter. So when you make a recording and you start talking at the same time, you can hear your own voice, but other people might not even hear you, because I did not hear a single boo for Harry and Meghan. And when I came and because that bit where we were, when they went into the church, we moved to go to a different area so we can get a better view of them coming out of the church. So where we were standing, even though where we moved to was even worse, but Sarah was on Spaces at the same time, talking to people, to the squads on Spaces, and they were saying, that they heard that Meghan got booed, and we were saying, no, they didn't boo. So we were arguing that no, they didn't boo, and then a man behind me said, oh no, that there was a person booing, or some people were booing in front of him. So I looked at him, and I knew that he didn't look like he was someone that was trying to, I think he was genuine. So it was this woman. And her footage, I've seen the footage. It was her booing as she was recording. So it will make it looks and sound.
A plant. It might be someone who they planted her there to do that.
I think she worked with the press, because when I was reading the post, someone on there said that woman works with one of the journalists. So I believe she's a plant.
You sounded like it was planted.
And the thing about it too is like the press have been prepping this booing for the last few weeks. The Express even had a poll if people should boo Meghan. Camilla Tominey wrote an article about booing. I think it was it Sarah Vine or one of the other people from the Daily Mail talked about booing. So they have been priming their readers for the last couple months to boo. So I mean, we've talked about this before. Would I be surprised if people, pick them up on it and go boot? No, absolutely not. And this is what I was saying. It's like, I would, if I had a camera, the place that I would train my camera when they come out would be the press, because that's who I expect to do it.
Right. Exactly, and that's what happened, because when I keep on telling people on Twitter, when it's that all these people on Twitter, they're not real life, they're just keyboard warriors. They make all that noise about they're royalists or they support the Cambridges. They will not leave their homes to go and stand in St. Paul's or go to the Mall. They'll just stay on Twitter causing all sorts of ruckus. They're not the ones that you will see at St. Paul's. And even there was an interview, one of the journalists who interviewed some young children. I think they were like teenagers, and he said to them, who are you here to support? And they said, and the children were saying, we just want to come and say hi to all the royals. And he kept on insisting. He kept on insisting, who is it? Who is it? And then one of them, he must have been a parent to one
Harry and Meghan, of course.
And the guy said Harry and Meghan, and then they all went, we were supporting Harry and Meghan. So that just tells you that the younger generation don't fall for all this BS that these people on Twitter are pushing. Yeah. That's why I don't get unnerved or unhinged about the things that they're saying. People saying to me, you better be careful if you go down to the St. Paul's wearing your Squaddie t-shirt. I said, I would wear my t-shirt with pride. I am scared of none of them, because they're just full of noise. It's just noise. The only thing is they just.
There was going back to the people interviewing people to hear people just one negative. There was this newscaster, and I think I said it earlier, but I can't remember. It was a female. I don't know if it sounded like Emily Andrews for some reason. I can't tell. Or maybe the other one that looks like Emily. So she was asking all the people there, oh, what was the response? How do you feel about Harry and Meghan? And was there cheers? Those cheers and boos, right? And then one of them, I'm so glad this guy was like, not on my end. There was no boos. There was all cheers. And then the other guy said, no, there was mostly cheers. The other guy said, oh, there was one or two people who were booing, but he said those are insignificant. That majority of everybody was cheering. So it tells maybe that guy's the one who saw those two people.
Exactly. Is that's the fact. If I wasn't there, then I would say maybe you can't tell, but I was there, and I know that when they came out, there was cheers. Everybody was cheering. I didn't hear no boos. Even that one individual or two individuals, I didn't hear them because we drowned them out.
Yeah. And that says a lot, right? I think sometimes, which again, we in the US, I'll say at least some of us, when we talk about Black Brits or even just British people in general, they support Harry and Meghan, the newspapers tend to portray completely something different. And I'm not saying that's, there's no fault to be taken here, but you can see that majority of, at least most people, the British people, are fond of Harry and Meghan, right? They're not caught up in all the tabloids mess. Although the tabloids does give us the impression that Brits are.
Yeah, it's true.
You have a feeling that most people are not.
They're not.
Which is key to remember.
Yeah. You've got two key people. You've got the cesspit, which is Twitter, and then you've got the people that really don't care, and then you've got the Republicans that they're not against Harry and Meghan. They're just against the whole establishment. I was against. Before Meghan came on the scene, I was what they call a Republican, against the whole establishment. I didn't care about it. I didn't really, that's why I get amazed, like all the squaddies in America when they're giving you the history of the Queen and the monarchy. I'm sitting there thinking, how do they know all about this? And we're in this UK and we don't know. I don't know none of it. I don't even, The Crown. I have never watched it. I've never been interested in it. I don't know nothing. We don't know anything about it. That's why when the British squaddies were being attacked by, the Americans, more American squaddies, because of the way Meghan was treated at the beginning. The reason is because we don't pay attention to the royal family. We just see these people are a bunch of privileged people that got all the money. They do what they want. And we're here just trying to live our lives. So we didn't really care. The only time that we noticed the press, all the racist things that were being said in the post and in the press and in the media and all that stuff. And then, we just think to ourselves, why is the palace not doing anything? Why is they not saying it? Maybe they don't listen, like they claim that they don't listen. So we just got on with our lives. It was when she went to South Africa and what's his name? I forgot the journalist that asked her, how is she? And then Meghan, made that statement. I cried tears. Tom, that's him. Yeah. I cried like a baby. Like this was my own flesh and blood that they've been treated. I couldn't believe it. When she said that, I would never forget that. When she said, "Oh, I'm glad no one's ever asked me how I am," I cried like a baby because I was like, this woman has been suffering in silence, and we are here and know nothing. Yeah. And that was out. That's the way. That's why I tried to explain to some of the American squaddies that this is like, it's just like you telling me to be concerned about the Kardashians. That is how we look at the monarchy. Right. And whoever marries into it or doesn't marry into it, we're really not concerned. So, that day in South Africa when that question was asked, I tell you, I have never cried for a celebrity. Apart from Princess Diana, I cried like a baby when, she said that. And I just think that, what was I doing? Why was I not doing? That's why that's one of the reasons why I go all out when it comes to Harry and Meghan now, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to say that these things are happening and I kept quiet.
Right.
So that's why I do what I do.
Right.
No,
One of the
completely
things,
makes sense.
yeah, one of the things that the press, I mean, you have to wonder, like, okay, why is it so important for the press that Harry and Meghan are cahooted? It's like, it seems so, it's like they're all like salivating. Even some American press I've seen is the same way. And
Oh, I
in the
know.
way they are just, you know how they have especially in America, they do this a lot, where they build you up and then they would do anything to tear you down. So when you're down at the bottom, so they could build you up again, is that kind of mentality. And that's how this is playing out. Is like some of them are so desperate to hear the booze. They're so desperate that for this to be true. It's kind of like the thing that they've been waiting for. And it's just like, well, why, why are you so desperate? And also too, in the this is a thing that's happening now, and it's so funny, like the New York Times have joined in on the party with this as well, about Harry and Meghan basically relegated to the second row. We saw Camilla Tominey wrote about it in the Telegraph, where for some strange reason they now have and also I think Royal_reporter posted, and I saw the headline. I think it's, what is it? I always forget the name. Not Richard Palmer, the one that writes for the Daily Mail, Richard something.
Oh, Eden, Richard Eden.
No, not Richard Eden. It's another one, the older guy.
Oh, okay.
Richard, yeah, I never remember his last name, but his name is Richard. But he also did the same thing, because they're, apart from the booing, they're now they have been relegated to, the second row. They've been relegated to sit with they literally are referring to Princess Eugenie and Beatrice and their husband. They're almost referring to them as they're not royals. They're not worthy of being in this, being there. So the fact that Harry and Meghan was sitting with them, never mind Princess Eugenie spent time at Meghan and Harry's house, that if, it's kind of like, well, if they were important enough to stay at their house, why would they not be important enough for Harry and Meghan to sit next to them in church? And so and the New York Times picked up the same thing. It's like, they have been relegated to the second row. And Camilla Tominey's headline is, Prince Harry and Meghan are now very much second row royals.
Yeah, I saw one of the blue tick people on Twitter actually did it. Commented it on this morning. That's when I saw it. So I responded, because he had tagged her into it. So I responded. I said, "You're just a jealous, old, dried up poon that is so jealous of these people because you're married. You've got a failed marriage. Apparently." She's probably she's going to be divorced soon. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I put it in there anyway, whether it's true or not.
I don't know. But I mean, even if you look at this picture, though, it's kind of like, this is the scene from the church, and you look at, this is Kate and Williams. This is them. What was happening with them going in the front row on the other side. And this is Harry and Meghan and their cousin,
laughing their heads off, all having fun.
And I'm like, well, if that's what it's like in the first row, why would anybody want to sit there?
So it's so interesting. It's so interesting that you show that picture, because as you can see, it's like, I'm sure you guys also saw that video, like that Favors, I think, went viral when Kate, I think V posted it, when Kate was sneaking to look at Harry and Meghan. And it's like, you want to be where the fun kids are. And that was what she was exuding. It was like, okay, I'm bored here, but kind of like wanted to, like, they don't envy you. They don't want to be where you are. Trust them. If they wanted to be where you were, Harry and Meghan would have stayed. They don't want that. They're like living their best life. You are stuck where you are, and you're sneaking a peek, trying to make sure that, oh, let me see that. They probably told her not to look, and she couldn't help herself.
She couldn't help herself, yeah.
Pamela, if Harry and Meghan wanted to be behind the Cambridges in that church, they would have been there.
Oh yeah,
I tell you,
yeah.
they would have been there.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't want to be there. They wanted to be in the second row. If they wanted to be on that side of the thing, even as non-working royals, they would have been there. Harry and
Because
Meghan are the ones working the show.
to the throne. So he sticks to the throne. So either way, he could have been sitting there anyway, just for the mere sake of him
Yeah,
being, you know what I mean, the sixth in
yeah,
line to the throne.
yeah.
So
For
I
my
think,
thinking, though. Oh,
yeah.
so go ahead. Go ahead.
No, before you lose your train of thought, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no, I was like, where's my brain today? No, what I was thinking though is whoever I mean, you know, if you listen to the BBC feed, I think I'm not sure who it was, the female that was on there. I don't know if it's that what's her, Rihanna and Sky. It sounded like her, but I don't know if that was her. But one of the things they were talking about is how choreographed this was. And it was choreographed specifically where they're sitting, because one of the things that, you know, the palace, and whether or not this is true, if I were the person choreographing and I was in the palace, I'd probably do the same thing. What it is they were trying to avoid is what happened at the last Commonwealth service with Harry and Meghan sitting behind, and you remember that drama with Kate and William being nasty to them. And they wanted to, because, you know, body language expert came in there and they just played up in that. They most likely wanted to avoid there be any picture where you can photograph both of them in the same picture. You have to photograph them separately. So there could be no comparison of, oh my gosh, look at her body language compared to this person in this picture. And so by putting them where they are, there is no possibility of getting them in the same shot. And if I was Buckingham Palace, I would probably do the same.
No,
if
but
I
you
was trying to avoid that.
With Adobe, you can always put two pictures to side.
Yeah, but
so
I'm not talking about editing. I'm talking about literally photographing them, and instead of editing it together, you'd know. But
their body. No, but the way they are doesn't change irrespective of where Harry and Meghan sits.
Right,
so
but you can't compare.
So their body structure is still the same. Look at Kate and look at Will, not smiling, tense, moody, angry, whatever you may call it. They're still the same. The last even when they sat together, Harry and Meghan still had the same look. Meghan was smiling. She kept the same look. Harry had a bit intense looks here and there. But Kate and William still look the same.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about comparing them in the same shot, which is what they did in the last comment, because you can photograph them together because they were sitting together. So you can compare body language off of each other, as opposed to they're in separate shots. So you can look at their body language, that is definitely negative, but you can't compare in the same shot with Harry and Meghan, so to sort of play them off of each other. So that's what I'm talking about with them not sitting together. So you can't get them in one shot where you can play them off of each other. I
agree with you, Petal, and I think that is probably what they did. But I think it's not from Buckingham Palace. I believe it's from Harry, because I think in this situation that we're going on, I believe they've been trying to get them to reconcile in some kind of way. But I think Harry wants this public. He wants the public to know that this is where it came from, and it's not just because they left. Because everybody's now saying, "Oh, they left." Because they went. They don't even. Some of the people that hate Harry and Meghan don't really know why they hate them.
Right.
The press has so manipulated them that they have to hate these two people. They really don't know. When I'm at work, nobody that I know where I work really particularly likes them. But when I sit them down and say, give me one reason why you don't like them, they can't. They can't pinpoint it. Oh, right. They did the Oprah interview, and you shouldn't family business. I said, well, if they've been speaking to the family and the family is paying them no attention, then you go and speak to someone else. You always say it's good to talk, and that's what they did. They went to allow millions of people to listen to what and if they didn't, we would never know. We would just think, no, Harry and Meghan has left, and then their spokespeople will just not tell us anything, and we'll just think, oh, these people are living in Montecito. So I was a bit nervous when they were saying they were going to do that interview. I was like, oh really? Oh no. But I am so glad they did.
Yeah.
Because not that I was surprised about the things that came out of it, but it was just that, you know, the fact that it happened, because we know that they're a racist family, basically. Everything seemed to be alien to William, and you can just imagine that he's the only one that's bitter. Everybody else seems to be able to move.
Look at his posture. Look at his face.
Yeah, everybody else seems to be able to move forward, but he is so bitter.
Yeah,
everything about him.
Yeah, and Susie Q says, which I'm gonna get to that slide in a second. So, what if they're in the second row? What if they're second row royals? Harry and Meghan doesn't work for them anymore. Also, Tash, Tash says the headline doesn't make sense because they've always been in the second row. That's the best spot in the church. They're in the best spot in the church, and this is exactly why I got these pictures. Harry and Meghan have always been in the second row.
Right.
Exactly. Right. They were in the best seats in the house. They were having fun. They were smiling. They were whispering to each other. They were doing their thing. Everybody was smirking. But the other ones were all stiff. By the time they got up to leave, get into their car, I'm sure all the Cambridges had neck ache. They would have been so tense. So tense.
Yeah.
So in the end, so I was going to say right after, so the whole moving out, when it came out, the other person that I really like, I don't like, and I think he's just trouble, is Mike Tindall, right? So on the steps, you remember what Mike Tindall, I don't know if you guys remember, he said some pretty awful things. And I'd be like, if I was Zara, I'd be like, shut your mouth. Like, this is my cousin. Stop. You are related to them through marriage. You're not blood. Like, I hear you, but don't be talking about my cousin. Because isn't the story that Harry was going to introduce Mike to Zara?
I don't know.
That's the story.
I don't know.
That's the story that Harry introduced Mike to Zara.
Because probably because Harry was playing rugby a lot.
Rugby, that's the point. Yeah,
that's how I remember the rugby guy. Yeah,
because Mike played rugby, and that's how Harry met Mike and introduced him to Zara. So for Mike to talk ish about Meghan and her family on the steps heading down, Zara was talking to them. Mike could not come close. You can see Harry did not give him the time of the day. Held on to his wife, and then when their car came, they just headed out. And I was like, And then later on, he headed on to the big old bus because they all have to get on the bus. The rest of them.
Well, that's the thing too that an article mentioned.
The bus royals.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too that an article mentioned, which it's so. I mean, for me, looking at the people who writing, like you have writers, right? These gossipers writing articles. When you think of society and the class system, these people are of no standing whatsoever. Yet you are looking at people who are in that society literally have standing, whether they are, going to be the future or they are, Duke somebody from somewhere. They at least have standing. But to see how people they write, they look down on people that they are at the bottom of in terms of how they write about them, i.e., Harry and Meghan are second row royals. Who's writing about this? Camilla Tominey. What standing does Camilla Tominey have?
That she's a liar.
Valentine Lowe, the same thing for the Times, the London Times, the same mentality. And you're like, but you have no standing. You are sitting there being this snobbish person talking down to people who literally have position. You are
and nobody. A divorce dried up prune.
And then they're having issues. The fact that Harry is not snobbish and he's not snobbing his cousins, and it's like, are you?
So
crazy?
Mike Tindall, like a few people I say on the chat, Mike Tindall, I just remembered he was against BLM, Black
Black
Lives
Lives
Matter.
Movement, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
movement.
really?
Right.
He made a statement on that, which was really pissed a lot of people off.
He said he fully
Wow.
And
support it. Yeah.
someone confirmed that yes, I was right. Harry was the one who introduced him to his wife, which shocks me because you would think you'd be sensitive to your your wife's cousin who introduced you to your wife and his wife, but he somebody said he feels like he wants to be the next replace Harry. Oh yeah, heck no, he cannot.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it in him.
Before we go on, Hen Pal, thank you so much for your donation. We
I think
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
that's the second time Hen Pal has donated today. So thanks, Hen
Oh
Pal.
my gosh! Well, my thing is a little bit behind, so this is the first I'm seeing it. Hen Pal says, "Peace, you are spot on. I cried when I heard that Meghan's what Meghan said as well. I'm convinced that something terrible happened to Princess Diana." Hen Pal, you and me, we all think the same. Yes, thank you so much.
Harry even knows. Harry said it. Harry was like, remember the me you not the me you can't see. When he says my mother was dating somebody who wasn't white, and look at what happened. So that was such a loaded, because there's a story out there that Diana might have been pregnant by Dodi, right?
Yeah, that's what we heard.
Yeah,
when she was in the hospital. Yeah, that they confirmed that, but they kind of hid that story away.
Yeah, so
it's funny because sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, there was apparently, and I saw it on the press, and you guys can, if you get read your British press, or British squaddies can confirm if possible, but apparently there was a journalist on, I think it was GB News, that made a reference to that they pretty much had to cut him off, I guess, and apologize, because he had said something about at least the royal family. Somebody, they were talking about let me come back to my thought, because they mentioned Princess Diana. He mentioned Princess Diana, that the royal family didn't have to do anything, like, to create a car crash or something, in reference to Princess Diana, and apparently it was very the journalist had to apologize, because basically what he was referring to is that, or saying that, because he was basically saying that Prince Andrew, when he was saying that, we know that Prince Andrew's not there because he said that he had COVID. And so the guy was saying, well, that's convenient. At least the royal family could come up with COVID. They didn't have to come up with a car crash as an excuse or something like that.
Messy.
And so they had to apologize. Whoever their reporter was, he was saying that too, had to apologize and said, obviously there could be lawsuits or whatever, because he's basically connected them that, and it was, it's funny because I've heard that before. I've heard some that written, not heard, but written. I've read that before, where someone said, it's like the royal family, it was a convenient way for the royal family to get rid of her because of Charles wanting to marry. That's what they said. Now, there's no evidence to this. I'm going to preface that, no evidence to this, but would I be shocked? No. But again, but that was what was said. So
yeah. Well,
but it's a common phrase in the UK when they're talking to people and they're saying about trying to get rid of someone. They'll just say, "Oh, do you want me to stage a car crash?" So it's a thing that people say. Not, and it might not have nothing. So that's probably why it dropped out of his mouth so easily.
Okay. Well, Mike Tindall, staying on Mike Tindall. Deb says Zara made sure to talk to Harry and Meghan, and Mike stayed to the side. He sure did. Mike Tindall was also the one that said that he, I think Harry was in his 20s. I think they were in a bar or something, and Harry had his security there with him. And Mike Tindall, in quote unquote a joke, was saying that him and whoever the buddy was that was with him, they they made a pact that they would jump on Harry. They
They'll
would
jump,
jump
yeah, they'll
him
jump Harry,
to
yeah.
and see how quickly his security would respond. And it was just like, that's the kind of thing they would do. And it's just like, why do you think that would be okay?
Mike Tindall, it looks like a bully, right?
Yeah,
He looks like
definitely
a
does.
bully with that whole rugby body. He feels like he's strong. And so that whole aggression, I can see that in him. He's a bully. And if he has his chance, he will say more. Perhaps he has said more. We just don't know. He just comes across as somebody who it's not, I don't know. And this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. This is like a good person to me. He feels like it's his way or the highway sort of kind of person. That's how he appears to me from what I've seen. And just hearing him about the way he talks about Black Lives Matter movement and everything else, it was just like, dude, you have Google and read more than just open up your mouth and saying things that you don't even know about. Like, get it together. Like,
Bonnie says, didn't Diana mention it before, something about her breaks? Yeah, she did. She absolutely did. She was convinced that they were going to tap her braids and she was going to die by a car. She absolutely did. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Then her son had the nerve to come out and say she's paranoid.
Yeah.
Oh, that William. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet Diana turn over in her grave and be like, did I give birth to him?
Did I birth this person?
Did I birth this person? Like,
so something else happened. So I could bring this up actually. Let's thank you, Bonnie, for your comment. So this happened recently.
No, you did not.
No, I did. Because I know. I normally don't, I don't usually bring up. Well, I have actually brought it up a couple of times for specific reasons. But again, this came up because this guy, wrote a book. Actually, a book is coming out, so we are going to
of course. So he's doing his rounds.
So too old guy, Piers Morgan's show is dying, so he's doing whatever he can and using Meghan. And who else to bring there? Someone who's writing a book to trash Meghan as usual. This is the kind of thing. Yeah, and this is the kind of thing he said apparently. So we know that Meghan was driving the other day actually from the Trooping the Color, and on her way to Buckingham Palace, she was riding in the car and she was videotaped and photographed with the window down. And one of the things was like, well, they've been, trying to get security.
She wanted them to see her. She wanted to be seen and smiling. Like,
exactly.
Like, oh my God.
And and how could she be doing that since that they were they would been fighting for security and they finally got security? How now she can roll down her window? And so that was the thing that, Piers and Tom Bauer were talking about. And basically, because of that, Tom Bauer decided that Meghan was a brazen hussy because she drove with a roll down window. And so, and we can see on the left, all are very well secured, maybe other than the two York girls in the bottom. I don't think they have security, at least not public security. But the Queen is, fully secured. And here she's driving with windows down, Prince Charles with windows down. There actually, the Queen has several photos of her driving with her windows down. Yet none of these, I mean, that's Sophie and Edward at the top. They don't even have their window halfway. It's just all the way down, And it's just, again, it's the bias, with the white royals is okay with them. They're fully secured, and yet they could drive with their windows down. But when Meghan does it, she is a brazen hussy. And I know I saw a lot of people now changing their profile to brazen hussy. I'm not doing, because for me that's just giving attention to them, and I'm not going to put that on Twitter give attention to.
Is Tom Bauer the one who was crying that he wasn't going to get a picture of Harry anymore, but he used to go?
Oh no, that's Edward. What is it? Something. The photographer. That was the
Oh,
photographer guy.
photographer. Oh, okay. Who was
Yeah,
crying?
Edward
Okay.
something or something Edward, whatever
Yeah.
his name is. That's the one who is like besties with Camilla.
Camilla.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But yeah, this
Interesting.
guy it's one of the nastiest people, and so yeah, he has a book coming out, and this is a pitch for his
And it's
book.
gonna
So
flop.
this is one
It's
that
really gonna
we are
flop.
going to simply avoid, like we did Tina Brown.
Yeah, it's gonna flop.
We'll
It's gonna
completely
flop.
avoid it.
I was gonna say the same reason racism occurred when during the trooping of the colors and Meghan was inside and you can see her kind of like with her finger to her lips having fun time with the cousins.
Yeah.
Zara's kids and whoever Philip's kids, I think. And you saw, and then the story was like, oh, she's hashing the kids, and this I think Kate had a similar picture, and how all of a sudden Kate is entertaining the kids, and I think Scobie posted it. Scobie was like the difference. Yeah, I think Scobie posted it.
Even Harry had the same picture with him.
Yes, Harry had the same picture, but
he was fine. It was fine. Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, they didn't pick on Harry. They picked on Meghan,
on her.
and
She was shushing the kids. And the funny thing is, like, their part, that could be too. But if you look at the kids' reactions of what they were doing, I think part of it is she was playing with them because they were touching their nose. And it's kind of like, it's one of those things you play if you've been around kids. Like, I taught kids, so if you've been there a lot, especially the younger ones, you play with them so they find their ears and their nose and their eyes and stuff. And the kids were all laughing and stuff like that. So they were having fun. It didn't seem like anything negative, but of course it's the Sussexes, so they will try to find something that is negative about it.
These are the same. This is the same. The same British media that don't want to bring attention to the Sussexes, but pick up some stupid story that has no sense whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's hilarious that they do that all the time.
When a hat alone can overshadow the Jubilee, then shushing.
I know. And it's exactly. You guys are giving them. I mean, they already have the power, but you guys are highlighting it, and then you complain. I was like, Meghan doesn't even need that; she would trend, but you're amplifying it because of your hate. It's like, come on, get it together.
Exactly.
I mean, one of the derangers, I think that same scene of where she had the window down and that they were driving on, the derangers came on my post and said, oh, they asked for security, they don't feel safe, but she then drove with the window down. So I just responded, yes, she felt safe because she knew all the derangers were busy on Twitter.
And thank you, Ruth. Ruth told us who so Pamela, this is the photographer. This is the guy who won the pictures. Arthur Edwards. Arthur Edwards is a liar. Thank you, Ruth. Arthur Edwards is a liar.
That guy was crying. I kind of felt bad for him because it felt like his pension and everything depended on that. Like, he said he was broke too. I think one of the talk, he's like, he didn't have money. It's like, I was like, man, doesn't the UK have some kind of pension for these people? Because he was just devastated that he couldn't photo Harry anymore.
Yeah, well, Arthur Edwards, literally, I saw someone posted on Twitter actually an article apparently because he works for the Sun, so I'm assuming that's where he posted it. I don't think they had put where. So since he's a photographer for the Sun, I am assuming that's where. Don't quote me because I don't know. They didn't put which article, where the article was. Just saw the thing where he basically had a screaming headline saying, it's not about you, Harry and Meghan. It's about the Queen. So yeah. So again, I'm assuming it's the Sun because he's a photographer for them, but it could be one of the other tabloid. Yeah. So
sometimes I actually and please forgive me, your people. Sometimes I find British people are so delusional. I won't say all of them, but and please forgive me, Squaddies, British. I'm just saying that the way it seems like there's the trans. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? The thing that connects, the connector that connects one brain side to the other and that connects logic go. It's on holiday, as they say, no vacation, but holiday.
Yeah.
Pamela, you and I are gonna fall out big time. 1 minute you're telling me that Ghana has the best jollof rice. Now you're trying to attack Britain. We are not delusional. We are unique.
Oh, okay. I would say
that is a new definition for that. It's just like the way Trump says alternative facts. I'll take that.
Well, no, I think it's a section of Britain, though. There are British people that are
because Pedal is right. Because one newspaper will say one thing, and then the very same day another one is saying the different opposite. I was like,
because we have the left wing and we have the right wing, which you also have in America. So we have everybody. We've got the left and the right, and then them stuck in the middle. So they just don't know whether they.
This is different, though. This is different. This is like the way the tabloids and the news and the reporters say things. And I was like, if you think about it for a nanosecond, you realize that what you're saying doesn't add up. Yeah, right? No, so just take the time and think through it, and then come with a bang.
They don't think about it, Pamela. They are manipulated by the media. And then once the media has got it into their thick brains that this is how it's going to be, there's nothing you can say to change that. These people that didn't even graduate from high school will come on Twitter and tell you to go and do some research. I said, research? You didn't even go to finish high school. What do you know about research?
Spell research.
Spell research. These are the ones that will put research in Google, and Google will say, is this what you mean? These are the people that are telling you to go and research.
Funny. But yeah, it baffles me. It really does. I'm like, wow. Because listen, Pedal just mentioned about how American news media, they'll raise you up and put. But there's one thing American medias won't do is like be blatantly lying because they know they'll be called out.
Well, unless you're Fox.
Well, that's different. I don't even think you're right. I don't even think about.
We don't. I mean,
my bad.
But
you're right.
Fox, especially their opinion parts. They're
Fox is Fox.
Because it's
right?
Rupert Murdoch. It's the same pattern that you see with the Sun and the New York
makes
Post.
Sense. Yes,
they're all Rupert Murdoch media. So that's the same pattern.
That's a trend right there. That's a pattern right there. So it makes sense. But I'm saying is like even like sometimes I'll see on E-News or the pop E-pop whatever they call those shows, and Lonnie Love sometimes I don't even know what she's saying. I'm like, you're not a royal reporter just because you like the Queen doesn't mean you know what's going on. But they will spew a few things here about Harry and Meghan. I was like, did you even like read?
No.
Did you even look through this? It's the assumption and the confidence in the assumption that bothers me. It's like it baffles me. It's like you have confidence in nothing, and you're spewing as though you have facts.
Right. Yeah.
I think what it is it's a cultural thing. In America, you guys look up to people with money. You aspire to them. You're proud of them. You encourage them. You make them feel like they're the best thing since sliced bread. But in the UK, it's totally different. You're not supposed to show off your wealth. It's just not dignified for you to show off your wealth. You have to hide it or be seen to be just so charitable. That's why the royal family gets away with it, because they make out that they are so charitable. All they do is just stand in front of every single charity and expect everybody else to put the money in. They just go and cut the ribbons. They're not the ones donating. Now Harry and Meghan have they flipped the switch. Harry and Meghan now are they're going to these charity places. They're donating money to these charities. That's not how it's done with the royals. The royals just go cut the ribbon and then let everybody else put their little 2 cents in. But Harry and Meghan are ruining it for them. Now you see, you go to anything happens, you'll hear, the Queens has just done an undisclosed amount. The Cambridges have just done an undisclosed amount. This is alien using William's
I
phrase.
haven't heard them do
Alien
anything
to.
like that. When did that come
Oh
out?
no, during the Ukraine, an undisclosed amount. We
Oh,
had we had quite a few of that, and then I
oh, okay.
think there was the recent one where the you know, the lady that they gave that's dying of bowel cancer,
Oh, the
and they
one who's
gave her
dying
a
of
dame.
cancer?
Yeah, there was
Oh yeah,
another. There
the
was
cloud
another
chasing.
on. Yeah, there was another undisclosed amount sent to her. But these are things that they're doing because Cambridge is because the Sussexes are doing that. So they're
Right.
now trying to be down with the people. So all these undisclosed amounts are now become part of protocol where it never used to be. So that's
Peace,
where the cultural.
I have to say, it was so funny when I thought when William was taking the picture of the lady that was down with cancer, I thought I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, they probably somebody photoshopped this. There is no way that you
No. Yeah. He
was totally cloud chasing.
He cleared his diary. He cleared his diary to have that Photoshop and made her a day. I mean, you know, kudos to the lady herself. That was a one. You know, it's wonderful for her, wonderful for her charity. But you just have to just think. It's calculated on behalf of the Cambridges. They saw this lady has been doing her thing for over 5 years. No one, you know, bothered.
Exactly.
As soon as GMB brought her on GMB TV, the TV show, all of a sudden the following day, within a week, she's a dame. Kudos to her, and I'm glad it happened to her because, you know, it could have happened to a nicer person. But you just have to think. The cynicalness in me makes me think, what's all this? It's all part of
you know, the funny thing is, I don't think you're cynical at all. It's a pattern.
It's a pattern.
With Kensington Bell. They did it with Captain Tom Moore when he raised that money. They did it recently with the Ukrainian organization that raised, what is it, like $6 million? I think there were a bunch of charities came together. And the moment they had that, then that was publicized, then you saw them there. And then it's a pattern that they want to have their name attached. And then all of a sudden, this woman's story become theirs. And Captain Tom Moore's story is their names are attached to it. And so you're not being cynical at all. It's definitely a pattern that they are doing.
Wasn't something happening with the Sussexes that they had to jump in and do that with that lady? I felt like there was something in the news with the Sussexes, so much so that
nothing needs to happen. All they want is to try and get the public on their side. So they're now trying to do everything. You know, he said at one point, Prince William said he's going to change. The protocol will be changed subtly. So there's going to be some subtle changes. All you need to do first and foremost, is walk with your wife, talk to your wife, even touch her occasionally. That would be something great. Did you see the post that I put up there? I think it was maybe one of Byron's.
Wait, when they were holding hands?
No, where they were like there's a mile gap between them, and then they photoshopped Rose into it. Now my sister sent that photograph to me on Twitter on WhatsApp, so I put it on Twitter and I said, "Who did this? Lord have mercy!" And that
I saw that post.
That post has been up on this morning when I looked at it. It's been viewed by 60,000 people. And all of the Rangers, they've been on there. They've been trying to justify. They were telling me this Photoshop. Oh, it's a fake video. Then they're sending me the real video. I said, why are you wasting your time? We all know it's Photoshop. We're indirectly helping the Cambridges to be a little bit more loving when they go out in public. We're giving it to you on a plate, saying this is what you need to do. Following the footsteps of the Sussexes. The rest of the so-called second row royals are now seen holding hands. Even Prince Charles and Camilla, they hold hands. That woman is constantly got her ham into him. That poor man, you know, I'm thinking he's got something wrong with his liver where his fingers are so swollen up. He's always having to hold on to Camilla. So maybe when you want to change the protocol, you know, subtly, try touching your wife or even giving her a peck in public. We put it to you on a plate. We've handed
I
it
was
to you.
laughing.
Take
That
it.
was too
But
funny, Peace. That was
instead of them
funny.
to accept it, they're telling me it's protocol. I said,
Who
okay,
posted
we
that
did
anyway?
try.
Yeah, and that's
Who
the thing.
posted
I
I
am
that?
still,
Was
mean,
it a
I'm
I'm
child?
glad.
still, I'm still trying to investigate. I told them that I'm investigating.
Who posted
I
it?
heard, I heard it was Byron, but he has not come out to say it was.
Was that Charles and Camilla holding hands?
Pam, you went into a tunnel somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
So
Was it you that posted Camilla and Charles holding hands? Was that you?
that
oh
wasn't me.
no, that was
Mine.
me. That yeah.
Oh, I thought
Um,
that was funny. The comment was really funny. I was like, oh
I
my
think, yeah,
goodness.
what I was going to say was I'm glad Omid Scobie wrote an article a couple weeks ago about protocol and all the nonsense about protocol. And,
Mm, yeah.
especially using it against women, but especially against Meghan. How they've
Mm,
used all, for example, these fashion protocol that does not exist, all of
mm,
these things that what it is basically the press, again, people of no standing in when it comes to, say, society, quote unquote society, writing all of those things to tell the people who are, literally in the family that they don't belong. And they use that protocol as a way to basically tell you don't belong, because everything you do, you're messing up. Everything you do, you're messing up, so that's why they use that. So I'm glad actually Omid wrote that article. Let's see, Daphne. Hey, Daphne. Daphne says, regardless of the naysayers, the Sussexes' appearance in the UK have been favorably phenomenal. No negative comments on those negative comments are meaningless, and they have no bearing on the visit. Shame.
that's so
And that's
true.
it. Very, very true. Yeah, absolutely. Because no matter, and if you notice, like the only reason that you're really hearing about the Cambridges, and for a little bit there, I even forgot about Prince Charles. Like, oh yeah, Prince Charles is a part of all this, because I hadn't heard anything. Because
It's true.
whenever you see the Sussexes, the first 2 days you hear, first and the third day, whatever, you hear the Sussexes. That's all people talk about. And the only way they've, the Cambridges especially have been able to so-called shine is because the Sussexes have not been there. They have literally just gone away. And so that's why, so thank you, Daphne. That is so true.
Well, they haven't, Pestle, they haven't shined though. All they have done
Well,
is created negative headlines for themselves. And
yeah.
this morning, I woke up and nearly wet myself when someone compared her to Big Bird's auntie. I was like, oh my God. That tweet
Oh, with
was
the
the best.
yellow.
Yeah, the best tweet for the Jubilee. She said that it was, I had to read the tweet. It was so funny. I think someone was saying they were sitting together and he was looking at his wife. This is William and Kate, and he was looking at her like he was blaming her for all the things that have gone wrong. And at the end of her tweet, I think it's my name is Earth is the Sussex squad, and she's at the end of the tweet she said, "This is your fault," and there you are sitting there like Big Bird's auntie.
It's funny. I don't know about
Someone just said this. Let me just read this. It's let me see. It's who said this? Let me hold on. Where is it? Just scroll back. Oh, Star Reese said Michelle Obama was worried about protocol when they visited, and then the Queen told her there's no such thing. So all these protocol things are made up by people who feel like they think what it should be and how it should be, and make up all these stuff. And then they project it to the public.
Yep.
So I'm sure there's some kind of process, but I don't think there's that much protocol. It's just all made up.
It's a lot of stuff made up by the press. A lot of it is made up by the press to basically tell you don't belong. So if everything you do is wrong and is because the more you feed to people that there is some kind of protocol. That's why every time, someone, Meghan wear a dress when she was in, when she was a working royal, quote unquote working royal, you would hear this spurt out all the time, but she's breaking protocol. I know. She's breaking protocol. And then the next thing is, now it's kind of like you hear the word Netflix. It's what the media is doing is drumming these things. They are basically brainwashing their readers so that everything that will come out after a while, everything that comes out of the reader's mouth is their reader's mouth. If they're doing it on Twitter or whatever, how it express themselves, you'll see them either, if the word for that day, the word that they are abusing is protocol, everything will be about protocol. Now it's Netflix. So everything negative attached to area Meghan, you will see Netflix. For a time it was all about their $11 million or 11 million pound house. So everything you'll see for the negativity on Twitter, etc., would be about their house. The British media, they are experts at brainwashing their readers. They are like experts at monstering people. And before, it's kind of like what you were saying, Peace. They hate Meghan and Harry. They don't even know why. Why? Because they have been told to hate. They have been brainwashed to hate. And that it's like robots spitting things out at you. That's what it's like.
So
they don't even know.
I just sent a text to you, but on Twitter, apparently Lewis was being a kid and being just unruly and actually covering.
Yeah. And I wanted to address that, but I wanted to address it in a sensitive way because hello?
Yeah.
You can hear me? Okay. For
I can hear you.
Okay. For some reason somebody went. Okay. I wanted to address it because this is a child. And so I'm kind of careful. Like I posted something about it in our community page the other day. I took it down because I didn't feel comfortable with it. Because again,
I was going to say before when I sent it, the reason I was going to say something before I sent that to you, I didn't know you were going to talk about it, is that my point was, if Archie were to do that the next day, the whole in the newspapers of how a terrible mom Meghan is and how she can't control her kid. Now, kids are kids. Kids who listen, that's the age where kids act up. It doesn't define him as who he's going to be. It's just that he's a kid. But my whole thing was like, there was mum about what is happening, and people are talking about it, and maybe they should or maybe they shouldn't, because everyone has their prerogative. But if I'm just saying, if this were to be Meghan, can you imagine what would be happening right now? That's just what I'm trying to say. Now, yes, it is a kid, and we need to be mindful and all that. But
James, actually, that guy, that what is it, James, I think his name, from LBC, actually, he posted literally the same thing, not from this, but from him when when they were in the balcony and he was pulling all these faces. So he literally posted the same thing, that if it was Archie doing it, what would the press say? So for this one, this was a video, because I've seen quite a few people in the chat, because I was debating whether to even bring it up, but because I had it there and I was like, I don't know that I wanted to talk about it, because it is a child and I want to be sensitive to a child, kids, especially as somebody who taught little kids. It's a very sensitive issue. Kids, like you said, Pam, kids act out. They just, it happens. They throw tantrums, whatever. But
there, and he's 3 years old, 4 years old.
He's 4. So
he's tired of sitting there. He needs to play. He's just
Pamela's you've gone into the tunnel again.
You're going into the tunnel again. So maybe so shift position. But what I was gonna say about this, the only thing I was gonna say about this, and again, the reason why I had it there and I wasn't sure I wanted to talk about it, but I've seen a lot of people in the chat talking about it. So I'm just gonna say very quickly, my thing with this is, when you look at the video, it could, you can pass it off as very, it's like, it's a child having a tantrum. That's part of it. But there's very specific things that Louis is doing that is learned behavior that he's seen, that it's stuff where, and I bring it up because I want people to be aware. When you see, and I think it's because I taught kids, I worked with kids for years, and I've seen behaviors that really speak to like, okay, there's something to talk about. And when I saw this video, I hope that his parents, with whatever is being taught or whatever he's seeing at home, is what they would bring out into the public. Children have no filters. So whatever they see, when they are around adults, whatever they see behavior, how adults deal with things how adults are. It's what they would imitate and what they will do. And a lot of times you will see this kind of thing in public. And if you've seen the video, it's all over Twitter. Is his mom is trying to talk to him, and he's literally has his hand on her mouth. His hand is in her face. He is making fun of her. 3 times he just stuck his hand in her face and put his hand over her mouth, like, stop talking. And he's making fun of her and putting his hand in her face. And those are specific behaviors. Kids don't just come up with that stuff. These are learned behaviors. These are things that this child saw someone doing that either to his mom or someone else in his community, in his home, or the people that he's around. And this is how they deal with whatever. And so for when I saw that, it broke my heart. Because I just hope that
you're in the tunnel.
You're still in the tunnel, Pam.
I'm still in the tunnel.
Yeah. So I just hope that they're able to sit with him and, not bring kids like this in these surroundings. It's just too much. We saw it in the balcony thing. It's too much stimulation for a child this young. And again, I'm not here to tell people how to parent their kid. But as someone who has worked with kids, I've seen this behavior before. And so that's why when I saw it, like, I'm not going to judge the parents. I'm definitely not here to do it, because kids do stuff. But I hope they're able to, whatever surrounding he's in, to address it and just not push it off. But again, this sort of thing, I feel bad for her, because if I was a mom and this is happening to me, especially in public, this is heartbreaking. So I felt really like, it broke my heart when I saw it, for him and for her. And so I hope they're able to, whatever they need to do to get help and to be able to, whatever the situation that he's in, to be able to address this and not just push it off. So, yeah.
Well said, Petal. My 2 cents in this situation, although I haven't seen all the videos to even say, all I know, he's a 4-year-old. He's a child. He's doing what most children would do. But one thing you said right there, kind of like touched me, because if you look at the previous photo, the younger days, when Harry was almost the same age as Louis, he would do the same. We've got lots of videos of him doing that with Princess Diana, pulling faces, being unruly, being naughty, and all of that stuff. What type of environment was the child was grown? Harry and both William and Harry. Look at their environment where they were brought up. Look at the relationship between the parents. So it now makes me think, what is really going on in the Cambridge's household for the child to now be acting up? And it's just like a disrespect to his mother, because obviously maybe that's the type of disrespect William is giving to Kate in the home when they're on their own in private. So it just makes you think that, if Louis is like that, maybe he's like that for a reason. It could just be genuine, that he was tired, he's out there, and he's had enough. It was too much for him. That could be the reason. And the other reason could be that he's
Okay.
It could be that he's in
a. Sorry.
Hang on, Pam. Hang on. Peace was finishing.
No, I was just going to say that I think it's probably got something to do with the environment that he's being brought up in, only because I go back to see the same videos, the same behavior in Harry when he was the same age.
Yeah.
Right. And it could also be that they learn it from, which again, they learn it from someone, but it could also be that his older siblings do that to him, right? Could be that George and Charlotte do that to him because he's the youngest. So they kind of like, who knows? Kids have ways of, but then where would George and Charlotte learn it from, right?
Exactly.
But
so,
I'm thinking more so his older siblings just bully him like that way, or just tell him to stop talking. He doesn't feel that he has to struggle to talk, or just be heard, or something like that. Could be just the same way Harry had to struggle to be heard.
He's despair. He's despair,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. So it could be the same thing that Harry had to struggle to be heard, because he was a spare. He still is a spare.
Harry is not a spare. I'm sorry. I beg to disagree.
No, back then, when they were in the UK, not now. Yeah. Back then
he was a spare.
Well, no, yes, back then, but I was like you said, he's still a spare. I was like, wait, no.
No, yeah, that's true. But I think I feel like that was I'm assuming that's probably what it's influencing that he has to attention is given to George, much more. Who knows? And so Louis is struggling with that. Again, it's hearsay. But you both are right. It's a learned behavior, learned from somewhere, because he couldn't have come up with that by himself.
No. It broke my heart. It broke my heart for all of them. I mean, I again, we are a channel about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, so I really have no interest in Kate. But as a woman, it broke my heart for her, because I'm not a mother, but I've been and I've worked with enough mothers that it was very sad to see. And so hopefully, this is
where protocol. This is where their protocol comes in again. Because if she was a good mother, if I was in her shoes, I would have got the nanny and asked him to take him home. This is not the place for him to be. He's restless. He's had enough. All that nonsense that's going on in front of him, he's had enough. He wants to be in his own environment.
It's hard, though, when you're with a child that's having a tantrum in those moments. It's hard when,
it's not like hard.
Great. Well,
it's not hard. My son was hyperactive. He was autistic, and we had those type of situations. Anytime that's happening, and I could tell when it was going to happen, I would take myself out of that environment. I don't care what's going on in front of me, because with an autistic child, or with someone that's got any special needs, that just doesn't show. It's not like you've got a broken, you can't walk, or you've got some physical facial that shows that you've got these special needs. So the people around you are not going to understand. Take him out of that environment. Forget what you're doing there, because obviously it's your protocol is more important than what is good for your child. Your child was playing up. If Charles was supposed to be the king, he wasn't supposed to be playing grandfather at that particular point. He was supposed to be the King of England. And this was today. I don't know if you've seen today's pageant. He was doing the same today, and he was up and down. They were more or less chasing after him. He was sat on Charles' knee at one point. This is protocol where he's supposed to be in his own seat. Take your child out of that environment, or don't even bring him. It happened a couple of days ago, happened yesterday. Why didn't you leave him at home with the nanny and everybody else? Why did you have to pull him out into this environment, and then you feel embarrassed? It's just ridiculous.
Maybe they're trying to create a humanistic aspect of it. They want to show
it's impossible, because even the press, instead of them to ignore the behavior, they kept on commenting on it, because they know it's what children do. Whether you've got special needs or not, every 4-year-old toddlers under 5 will behave exactly how Louis was behaving. And you know that. So why would I would not have brought Louis to that event. Personally, the other two are old enough to you give them the side eye, and they will conform. Louis would not listen to your side eye or look at your side eye. So leave him at home. You've got enough nannies. Stop trying to make out like you're the perfect parent.
You're a mother. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you in a point. I'm going to agree with you in a point. Okay, I was
going to say, I agree with her with Peace, because as a mother, listen, because the embarrassment is like when people are giving you the mother the side eye, and you're like, you need to take that kid out and go comfort the kid, because the kid's emotions and needs come first. amongst anything. And so what you need to do is what you need to do. You don't, from what I've heard from my friends, you don't care what people think. You want your kid to be fine. Forget protocol. You're like, my kid he's acting up. Let me go find out what's going on. And so, and again, it doesn't seem like this is the first time, right? So I guess what I think I hear you say is like there has to be a backup in place. Like if Lou is acting up, perhaps we can just, take him out of the
environment.
Yeah.
Just like you said at the beginning, I think it was either Petal or Pamela, I can't remember. If that was Archie, the whole story would be totally different. Would be totally different.
Yeah. So, and I think they could have taken him out. Maybe he just needs a place to play. You can see he's restless. Yeah. It's just restlessness. It's not. He just needs to be out and play and run. And God knows what, I'm sure he's okay, but who knows if he has some kind of need, then he's frustrated. He just needs to be out and play. And maybe that should be catered for. Yeah. Nobody's going to be mad at
He might be perfectly fine. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute, just in case your readers are thinking, the listeners are thinking, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute he's got any type of special needs. He's a under 5-year-old child that was doing what under 5s do at all times. But today, I haven't seen the other videos of how it's happened because the press are the ones that made me realize that it's happened previously. I was watching the pageant today and all I saw was this poor child running up and down, trying to get attention. He was sitting on his grandfather's lap at one point, then with the dad, and then with the mother. He was back and forward. And it's like, he was out of control. The mother was embarrassed. The father was embarrassed. The media kept on bringing it up, but in a nice way. Not they draw attention to it, but in a nice way. Just take him out of that environment. He didn't need to be there. And today's pageant was so boring for a 4-year-old. They sat through it for hours. People walking down with different colors, and he wasn't interested. It was boring. Even me, I was falling asleep and waking up, falling asleep and waking up and watching this pageant going on forever. So how would a 4-year-old enjoy it? He wants to watch his videos. Yeah.
So let me I just want to say, like, just for what my point of view of what happening there and why this is one of the things I was thinking of, Peace, you were talking about, forget about protocol, this is your kid.
Yeah.
And this is where the power of the monarchy and what the monarchy wants overrides the people.
Mm-hmm.
And Omid Scobie wrote about this when Harry had talked about the Queen, and when Harry, visited the Queen, and he talked about, he was there because he wanted to, look at, make sure his grandmother was taken care of and stuff, and everybody else was like, "Who are you? What do you think you are?" And Omid Scobie wrote a piece, and he wrote a piece, and in that piece he talks about how the monarchy does not care about the people of the royal family. One of the things that Harry and Meghan always felt, and they've to this day are angry about, is how they were treated as people. And Omid's point was, the monarchy does not even care about the well-being of the Queen, as long as, for example, the business of the monarchy is more important than the welfare of the Queen, even though it's the Queen. And that is the power of that. And that is one of the reasons why, for me, Harry and Meghan had to literally remove themselves from that environment for them to have the freedom to do what they want to do as parents, the freedom to do what they want to do as whatever. The fact that Louis at the balcony was behaving that way, he behaved that way again, and again they brought... This is a lot more than just a mom just allowing her kid. For me, what I'm thinking, this is a lot more. And there's a lot bigger play than just Kate and William or whomever he lives with, if you believe whatever you want to believe, that they can just say, okay, no, we're not going to. I think the monarchy wants that whole, the idea of, all the kids there. They want the attention, they want the publicity, whatever. And I don't think that the Cambridges have that much, and again, I could be wrong, but I think the monarchy, the business of the monarchy is at play here. Because I don't think, if you're thinking in terms of any parent, if you see your child, like you just said, going through this stuff, that you would be like, okay, but let's just bring him out again today, and then let's just bring him out again, and it's like they can't move, they can't do anything. And so for me, there's a lot more when Harry talks about they're imprisoned. I don't think it's like, no, we don't think he was joking, but I feel like, and could just be me, these are all little, and they seem little, but these are all elements of, they pretty much are in prison. They got to do what they have to do, as opposed to what a normal person in this situation would do. And so that's kind of how I see that.
All right. Yeah, listen,
I agree.
I think we agree in that we've talked enough about the Cambridges.
So, yeah.
We'll bring it back. Quite honestly, I think we've hit almost 2 hours on here.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and so I just want to maybe, is there any other topics we need to talk about with peace on?
No, but let's just see a couple of people in the chat. I want to hear from, because we didn't really get to people in the chat, and I want to see from our wonderful friends out here what they're thinking about any of this. Let's see.
Peace, do you still have time to be on?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to check.
So let's see. Let's see. Tash. That says, I think this part of a conversation, Tash, I'm sure. It's like, plus Harry's acting out was always directed, not his parents, but towards the British media, but was part of the attack on his mother. Harry had to see the British media chase his mother. So for him, they are the enemy. Yes, absolutely.
No, I'm talking about when he was much younger. He was like 4 or 5 years. I'm not talking about when he was older.
Right. So yes, there were situations where he was, he would be like sticking his tongue out and all of that. Yeah, he was definitely, let's see. Diane, let's see what Diane is saying. Diane says, common sense would have told anyone at this point to leave the child at home until able to handle a situation. It's starting to become abusive, intended or not.
I agree.
And they have, there are times when they don't bring Louis around. You can see, and not because I like them it's just obvious observation rather that they haven't brought Louis. And I think that's a good point, that Louis is not at a stage where he wants to watch his video games or play around, and he needs to be doing that. And there's no need to put Louis in a position where, even though he has 2 siblings, the 2 siblings are trained to sit down and watch at this point. Right, Louis needs to be playing. He's a 4-year-old kid who needs space and running around and having a good old ball. And restricting him to watching things that he doesn't want to watch. Like you said, kids have no filter. They'll just say what they want to say or do what they need to do. And he's bored. He's bored to death. Yeah.
Mara says, if it was Archie, they would say that those are narcissistic behavior copy from his mother.
Well, that would be the least they'll say, trust me.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Let's see, Adrian. Hi, Adrian. How are you? Adrian says, I felt so heartbreaking for George. He reminded me of Harry. William should have known, let his children be children and not pawns. Look, I agree with that. I feel like these kids are kids. Let kids have their childhood. There's no need to have these children be unengaged. I mean, again, it's not for me to parent anybody's child, but it just feels like they just let them be kids. Let's just, instead of bringing them into the spotlight, and what the media would do to them, and can I just abolish this monarchy already? It sickens my heart. It's just like, because I'm like, I have a soft spot for kids. Kids and elderly people are my thing. And it's like, I hate see kids not, to be put in the spotlight when there's no need for that. There's really no need for that. So let's see, a couple more people. Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Jessica says, I'm a mother and grandmother. The tube in the collar is too long for a 4-year-old to sit through. We're observing bad parenting. Not you notice they didn't have fun for Easter service.
They didn't have him for Easter service.
They didn't have. Oh gosh, yes, they didn't have him for Easter. Sorry, I read fun. They didn't have him for Easter service. And, you know, again, for me personally, I'm not gonna judge of parenting. That people could decide for their, you know, they're around the kids, they know what. But it just, again, yeah, it just, some things are just too long. Kids are very short attention span.
There is nothing wrong in bringing the kid to the trooping of time, maybe for like 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes, and then have a plan, and maybe, you know, just for if for memory history's sake, right, that he was there. Then maybe have him come a little bit, but be flexible and vulnerable enough to take him, send him, you know, to that. It's okay. It's human. It's nothing wrong. You don't have to present something that we know every mother can relate to. Like
they were in Buckingham Palace. It's not like they went somewhere. They were actually in their homes, so they could have just sent him back into the palace with the nanny.
And then that's okay. So he can be happy with himself. It's like, and that would actually normalize them, right? People would be like, oh yeah, that's Louis needs. So that's all I'm saying. I think it's
okay. Kate claims she's a child. What was it that she said she is now? These under fives or early learning specialist. What is she now claiming herself? She doesn't specialize teaching. She better not be teaching any of my children, because she doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Ooh.
I'm sure if Meghan,
your kid could hang out. Your kid
that's what I'm saying. But you just take them out of that situation and let them go somewhere. I'm sure if Meghan saw her child in that situation, she would be like, protocol. Come on, let's go for a walk.
Yeah, you know what's odd though? Not odd, but it's kind of weird that it just sort of happened in the same same place. And I don't have it because I didn't bring it in from Instagram, but George Norwood, who is Meghan's hairdresser, he does her hair, and I think he did her hair yesterday or 2 days ago as well. Sees it from London, and he posted a picture and wrote on Instagram that it was really great to see the Sussexes again, and that Archie has grown up to be a really well-mannered and beautiful boy, or something like that, and that, you know, baby Lili is beautiful. But it was just kind of weird, and this was before any of this stuff, you know, so it was just kind of a coincidence that happened. He wrote that, and then all this stuff started happening. It's like, oh my goodness.
Well,
that's not to say.
If you think about her, just look at Meghan and Harry. Who said it? I think Abigail. Was it Abigail, or what is Meghan's best friend who was on Good Morning Britain? Not Good Morning Britain. Good Morning. One of the shows talk about Meghan.
This morning, I remember.
I forgot her name.
Janina.
Yeah,
oh,
Janina.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, one of the before Meghan had the Archie or so, or when she had Archie, Janina was saying that Meghan is very firm and strict. That Meghan is not going to take BS from the kid. Like, she will train that kid.
Meghan has a black mama. Hello.
She's disciplined that way, and so because people were thinking, oh, she'll be spoiled. Like, no, the kid will be loved, but don't get it twisted. Basically, like, Archie will fall in line. You would not, like, and I was thinking, and you're right. I was like, Meghan has a black mother. Like, you think?
Meghan has a black mama. Black mamas don't play.
I'm like, that is not happening. You'll be like, but it's like you said, give you the side eye and look. You will read the look at you. You will get settled in right away.
And Choreography says an article that reported photographers initiated and inside Harry inside the car. That's when he stuck his tongue out, but they cut that part. Why he did that? Yes, the scene on the balcony.
Yes, that was true. Okay, a reporter stuck their tongue out, and then Harry did the same thing. That was true.
Oh wow! And you see how they've cut that part, so they only have Harry's
I've seen that video. The reporter was taunting Harry. They kept sticking their tongue out. And then eventually he did the thing. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. But it's
And
so
that's what
funny because when you,
Diana snatched him out right away.
yeah, exactly. But it's funny when you look back at, like, say, videos of, Harry and William when they were young, they were holy terrors apparently, according to the people who wrote about it, and like
They
their former
were. They
nanny.
were.
There is a video even where Charles, I think he was holding Harry, and they were sitting on the ground, whatever, and William is in the back of them whacking his dad's head with his arm. And it's just like, yeah, he kept doing it, and Charles wouldn't do anything. And apparently, the nan from, whether it's true or not, but apparently from the nannies, and I know one of the security officers who write a lot about Harry and Meghan, he's now turned against Harry, Ken Warf, or whatever his name was. I think he was Diana's security. He talked about what a nightmare it was to be, protecting those boys because they were out of control. And so, so they had a very,
like you said,
very
look at their
active
home. There's no stability at home.
No stability at home.
Active children. Yeah.
So they need they need structure. They need to see. They need to see loving relationship. They need to see things that they can emulate. And you've got
to remember that they were going from one home to the other. One minute they were with Charles, the next minute they're in another home with the mother. So that also causes problem where they can play off on each other. With the Cambridges, I'm sure they must be in a big palace and they've all got different sides, wings. So they probably come together when they want to have a meeting of where they're going to go on their next event. So they're probably separate wings in their big palaces. So you just don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Let's see. Adrian says, just one more. Well, actually, let's just do two more. One, Adrian, and then one more person. Ruth Lope. Oh, she's talking to Ruth. Hi, Adrian says, it's not that George is getting attention. George is being taught to prepare for when William becomes king. That is one of the big problems. They did the same thing with Harry, and that was one of the big thing where Diana had to feel like she had to love up on Harry, because even though it's not getting attention, it is attention. It is they're doing that separating thing already, where they're separating George for all this attention, and the younger ones who are going to be the spares. Like right now, they're being loved by the press, but they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be treating them like they treat Harry, the same way they treated, Prince Andrew. Whatever you think about him, they did the same thing. The royal family have not learned. They're doing the same patterns again, and the same thing is happening, So one more person. Let's see who else we can check out and go.
We can end it. Peace. I mean, I think we spent 2 hours on this. We've said pretty much everything. At least I can jump off. Peace, do you have any last minute thought?
No, I've enjoyed this chat. I think it was, it's just lovely to get it all out and get all your points of views and Petal's point of views, and mix it all together, and we can put 2 and 2 and make 10. But hey, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and thank you so much for taking time. On a Sunday, you're probably getting ready for work tomorrow to chat with us. And I would say following you watching you on Invictus, and just your spirit and your energy was great. And hopefully looking forward to coming to London. I have family in London, so once in a while I was there in 2019. I'll probably come back again.
Look forward. Yeah, hook me up. Glad to see all my fellow squaddies whenever they come to the UK.
I will. But that was great. So, Petal, you can take it over.
Okay, bye, Pam. Peace, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy. So since you are our shall we say, our designated a designated roving reporter from the UK. I'm sure we will definitely be chatting again. Hopefully, I'm assuming we won't see the Sussexes again until they come back to the UK, to the US. But next time, whatever it is going to be happening in the UK, I'm sure we will, we'll have you down, be our roving reporter. So thank you guys. Thank you so much, guys, in the chat. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. 419 of us been hanging out for the last couple of hours. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Some of you all of you who have donated, I may have missed. My chat is a little weird today, so
we appreciate them.
But we definitely good. You say we, and I say, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it too. And we appreciate you so much. You know what it is, Pam? I've been saying for so long that I forgot. So I'm glad you're here today, so you can say we. So you'll be joining us more, so we could be practicing on we's.
Yeah, actually, before I jump off, here is an idea. I think. Oh, Pedro, before I jump, I was thinking maybe next week when we should do one, then we can dial some of our viewers in to come in to talk. So if any of our viewers want to be on the podcast for next week, maybe they can sign up, let you know, and then we can send a topic, and then when we're on it, we can call them in to come on and just share their thoughts. I think it would be great.
That could be a cool idea. That's a cool idea.
I think because they have a lot to say on live on chat. So.
Well, it's one thing to be on chat and another thing. No, but that's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea. So that'll be cool. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys, and have a fantastic day. Peace. Thank you. We will.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And so we're going to peace out with some music as usual. There we go. Gonna get some music on here. There we go. So great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Church Nelly. Thank you, Lydia, our amazing, amazing moderators who were hanging with us for the last couple of hours. Thank you all so much. And we will see you next time. All right. Bye, everybody.